Hey guys, better late than never. I'm finally here with my Geth Juggernaut video. I'm playing with my buddy Kiz Mystic and two randoms, unknown gold. The build will be at the end of the video. I did make the build yesterday. I did have it all, but I got a major headache yesterday. I just had to stop. I just had to get off technology and give my eyes a break. So I'm going to upload that today, and straight after I've done this commentation, I'm going to have this video rendering while I start playing with the collector. Hopefully I can get 2 videos out for you guys today, so just sort of get back on track. So the Geth Juggernaut. Yeah, he's alright. I quite like the Geth Juggernaut. I thought I'd like him more, to be perfectly honest. That's not to say he's bad at all. He is pretty cool. But obviously, the whole slow movement speed thing actually bothers me a lot more than I thought it would, but that's just me. I'm immensely impatient, so yeah, moving around that slowly kind of does bug me. So every single game I play with this guy is there's an adrenaline module 3 on him every single time. So this is Hazard Reactor again, but we got Geth this time, so we're going to have some prime offs. That what I just showed you then was his light melee. It's kind of like a short burst of you know, the normal Geth's heavy melee, which is kind of funky. I think I do kill a couple of enemies with it, but that's just to use it as some sort of nice area control. I am rocking all of the Juggernaut's powers, but I'm not impressed with the Hex Shield. I'm really not. Most of the time, it just gets in my way. To be perfectly honest, the whole the pulse thing is pointless. I've just if I got enemies in my face like that, I'm gonna melee them or I'm gonna just siege pulse them. The last thing I think to do is to throw this Hex Shield in front of them, because the Hex Shield obviously just really slows down my my power recharge speed, so it just gets in the way most of the time. I very rarely use it. I'll use it for extra cover if there's quite a lot of firepower coming my way, or if I'm taking on one group and there's another group approaching me from a different angle, put the Hex Shield up there so I can just deal with one group at a time while the Hex Shield blocks the other one. Because even at 3 points, that thing's got quite impressive shields. What is it? I think it's like 2,400. So yeah, it is ample cover, but to put in front of you and take on a crowd is just a hindrance, because it blocks your shots and your powers. So I really don't do it that much. Well, what I originally tried was I was going with a no Geth turret build originally, because I just wanted to try out the new powers, you know. But no, I wasn't a fan of the Hex Shield. I tried it with an all damage one. The Siege Pulse I explained doesn't really help me out. The whole tech setup one that electrifies them, that I'm not sure that ever happened. I always put fire ammo on, so it was always fire explosions. I didn't really see tech explosions going on there, or seeing enemies really spaz out. I think I saw like 3 enemies in the whole time I used it get caught with the electric of the Hex Shield, and I was putting it out when I was being charged by abominations and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And I did kind of like the whole power synergy thing at the end, but you've got to waste too many points to get that. If that was like maybe the 4th evolution, I'd probably take that, because it's quite nice to have that boost. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't want that giant shield, the other 6th evolution, because like I said, the little shield gets in my way, so I don't want that massive one. Really, my bread and butter is the Siege Pulse. That is actually a really cool move. I did end up taking the Geth turret though, because as you can see, I don't. Well, no, you might not have seen it. It's only there for a short time. But I don't go with any kind of shield booster. This guy does have 3,100 shields by default, or even more so. I can't even remember now. But not by default, sorry. If you go for full shields, which I do, I go for full shields and stuff. So, you know, you're pretty tanky, but you'll be surprised just how efficiently the enemy can still take you down. You do need to be careful, but less careful than you would with anybody else. But no, I like to go with the Omnicapacitor for my gear bonus, because I just like to spam seed balls. It really is just everything about me. It's crowd control, it's detonations, it's good damage, it's damage against all the kinds of protection. It's really a fantastic move, actually. It operates kind of similar to the biotic orbs Because, you know, with the biotic orbs, you can actually use the biotic orbs for sort of... Well, they actually work for recharge speed and or damage, whereas these work for sort of damage protection or damage, and I went for all damage. Like I said, you've got massive health and shields. I mean, absolutely colossal health and shields, so I don't really feel the need for any more kind of protection, and the damage is really impressive. The 6th evolution is just... it's like a boost against all kind of protection, and you'll be surprised just how efficiently it works on every enemy in the game. There's not a cooler combo than sort of setting the enemy on fire when they're still protected, picking them up, draining their shields with the heavy melee, and then just when they drop, then just firing a siege pulse at them and then just wiping them out. That wrecks phantoms. That is like the most awesome way to kill Phantom. Yeah, really cool Phantom killer. Works well on all factions, though, he really does, but you'll be surprised. Looks like Marauders from the Reapers and all of the Collector forces will surprisingly go fast, go through your shields and stuff really quickly. What else I found out about how the Siege Pulse work, similar to Biotic Orbs, is they are a nightmare off-host. I was doing some Platinum games with this guy. Yeah, absolutely Platinum ready, don't you worry about it. But off-host is tricky. Obviously, I was playing with Grump, he's American. No, he's Canadian, sorry. So that's overseas, and oh my god, there's so much delay in getting the Siege Pulses to fire, and that can wreck your day, especially if you're going with my build, where the Siege Pulse is basically... it's all you've got, really. I mean, I do. The Hurricane's an amazing gun. That's why I've stuck on him, just because it does so much damage per second. It does a ton, and because of that, it's really fantastic for applying your ammo bonuses. So any elemental ammo is going to work, but I am going to recommend fire because they're the best explosions. So I'm just setting the enemy on fire and just siege pulsing, and like it's almost as frequently as I can. I try to break it up nicely so that I can do two. I'll break up the clip and fire 2 siege pulses in between, and then I'll reload cancel the third. But I frequently just get lost in the action, and it gets a bit clunky. That's something to really practice a bit more with. I've only really played a day with the Juggernaut. What would be ideal would probably be the Collector SMG, but you need it at a higher level. Mine's level 5. I did try on it because obviously getting around and picking up ammo is a chore because this guy is so slow and clunky. So if you didn't have to worry about ammo, that would be fantastic. So if you got a high level Collector SMG, use that. But my level 5 just wasn't doing enough damage, unfortunately. I definitely needed more damage backing up that Siege Pulse move, so I went with the Hurricane in the end. I did treat myself to a couple of premium Spectre packs, start picking up some of them weapons and mods and stuff, and I came across the SMG Magnifier. I've only got a level 1, that's why I've slapped on the Hurricane. That's really given me a nice boost to my Siege Pulses. I can only imagine how good it gets when you get that thing to level 5, but that works out great. I've got the Magnifier and the High Velocity Barrel, like I said, because... I'm not doing a ton of shooting. I am basically just shooting in between my siege pulsing, so I don't need a massive clip like I do. But the high heat sink is always a nice option. You can go with that. But obviously SMGs are really do struggle against armor because of how how they build an immunity to like a stream of bullets. So, a tolerance rather. They get like a damage reduction to it. So I did want the high velocity barrel just to help me fight bosses and stuff. I figured that was more important to me than the heat sink. So I'm going to chew through a couple of thermal clips, but not too many actually. I'm going to do all right. But yeah, as I was saying before, playing off host with this thing, Siege Pulses, there's so much delay to get them off. Same as the Biotic Orbs. That was very kind of painful. So you really want to be sort of playing on a host that's kind of close to you if you're going to do that with this build. Obviously, you can just tank with this guy if you really wanted to. There's so much options. You can have all those health and shields. You can put full damage protection and an extra shot charge on the siege pulses, so there's just loads of damage reduction. And then obviously you can just take something like a Typhoon or like a particle rifle and really just stand there and just churn out a ton of damage. But that's kind of dull, actually. The first thing I tried on this guy was the particle rifle, and I found that I just wanted to use the siege pulse a lot more, and that was obviously just messing up the particle rifle. You know, as soon as you stop firing with the particle rifle, you've got to ramp up all over again, and you're really just not getting good damage out of the gun when you do that. So I needed something that just streams out bullets instantly. Another gun I've heard a lot of good things about is the Lancer. That's a recharge gun. It's a classic from like Mass Effect 3. So it's and apparently it's really, really good. I can't wait to get my hands on that. That might be something to slap on him. Obviously, though, there's no magnifier for assault rifles. I think it's only for pistols and SMGs, which might make me reconsider. But if the damage is really good on the Lancer, then I think that'll more than make up for what your siege pulse isn't getting then. I'm sure I started it but trailed off again. I did end up going with putting full points into the Geth turret because, like I said, it was surprising just how efficiently the enemy did manage to chew through all those health and shields, with the Reapers and Collectors mainly. They seem to be really efficient at taking him down still. So I needed to get the aggro off me. He needs less aggro on him. So the Geth turret's helpful. I mean, the Geth actually do like really love your pets, and as do phantoms. But most importantly, is it shoots a little pulse shot now and again, which staggers. So it just really just helps me survive a lot more than that hex shield ever does. So yeah, and also if you go for the flamethrower animation, you've got another really great source for setting up your fire explosions. And that's basically what you're going to see me do. I'm essentially just running around, drilling them with my hurricane, and then throwing in the sage pulse for fire explosions. If there's a big group of enemies, I will throw in the turret and do the same thing. And if I'm under high fire, or there's two groups surrounding me, I'll put the hex shield up to block one of the groups, or eat up some of that firepower for me. And that's pretty much it. Then yeah, just sort of. It's a nice aggressive build for the Juggernaut, and that's just how I am. I love to just sort of get in there and do some really nice damage. And this is the way I found to do it with the Juggernaut. But yeah, no, adrenaline module, for me at least, so very important. I mean, if you're going to just sort of tank it and sort of hold up the place, just go for all the shield technology. That would be ridiculous health. I mean, absolutely insane health. So yeah, you can do that, but that's no fun for me. I will use the heavy melee for obviously dealing with phantoms. Any that's charging me and is up in my face, doing a lot of quick damage and stuff like that. Nothing can sync kill you, but you can. Like things like the Burdorian's claw hands and stuff like that, they can just stagger you like crazy. So it takes a lot to stagger you, but it does happen. And when you're locked up, there's no way for you to get out of like of a tricky situation like that. You are stuck. But no, I'll use the heavy melee to deal with those charging enemies, and I'll also do it to just survive. In this video, though, I am going to discover a harsh truth about the heavy melee. Much like sync kills, you need to be level with your enemy to work. There's going to be a portion, I think it's wave 10. I'm really going to try and survive by taking the shields of the primes. All the Geth that are just sort of charging me down this ramp. I just physically cannot heavy melee any of them because we're not level, and I'm going to burn through pretty much all of my Medigel just at that one point, because it took me a while to realise what was going wrong. I thought, well, is it just lag? Am I not aiming right? I was trying a bunch of things. I was even going right up in their faces to try and get the heavy melee to work, but now I'm just convinced it's got to be you've got to be level to get the heavy melee to work. But it's a great way to survive, especially if you've gone for full health and shields with the fitness tree, because you actually get like even more shields from enemies when you're doing your heavy melee then. So yeah, really fantastic way to survive. But yeah, I hope you can notice that you can literally chin out a ton of damage with this guy. He's not a support role or or an aggro collector. He can go out and he can do some really nice damage. Huge maps though are a real chore. See, this is me there. I got a prime and a bunch of them over there, so I'm going to put the hex shield up so that that's going to be taking a ton of damage from me while I deal with these guys in front of me. So that's pretty much a prime example of what I was saying before. And I hope you noticed that I took so much less damage then with the Hex Shield. It does have a really big shield to it, so it is very helpful. But its evolutions aren't. As far as I'm concerned, its evolutions aren't helpful. 3 points is more than enough. You could even spec out of the Hex Shield entirely and take weapon damage or something. Yeah. What's also really cool about the Jug, which I failed to mention so far, is that he's got Tyrian and Batarian passives. Well, for one evolution at least, you can have stability and extra ammo. So that's why I went with the Collector first, the Collector SMG before the Hurricane SMG, because I thought, oh, extra ammo, and the Collector SMG, meaning so that I've just got a huge clip then, and I won't have to worry about going to the ammo boxes. Like I said, if you've got a higher Collector SMG, that's probably great, but it doesn't do enough damage at level 5, I know that much. But then obviously I was like, oh, well, I can try the Hurricane, I got the stability, I can just shoot this bad boy from the hip, and actually get some quite good distance with it. And you can see there's me shooting with quite a range with the Hurricane to quite some effect there. Definitely can't wait to get my hands on that Lancer though. I've heard some really excellent things about the Lancer. I wasn't even looking up the Lancer, to be honest. Dom sent me over to the forums to check out BioWare's own explanation on how to play the Talon Engineer. Still haven't had a go yet, but so many of my friends just cannot work him out or just plain don't like what he's about. So I went to have a browse of that, see what BioWare's plan was with the Talon before I even took him on myself. And then from there, that's what happens. I normally go to the forums to see the balance changes, and if there's an interesting headline on the front page of the forums, I start reading stuff, and I start reading really good stuff about the Lancer. Apparently, it's like it really is up there as like one of the best assault rifles in the game now. Like, like a close second to the Hurricane. I'm hearing from people where the Hurricane's got all this higher fire rate and damage and accuracy. It's like apparently the Lancer just sort of makes up for it in its rechargeable clip. It's really easy to manage. It does really considerably good damage. Although I told this to Dom, who sent me to the forums, and he's not convinced. He hates the Lancer. But no, I've heard more positive things. Or some of my other friends, like Grump, he likes the Lancer. I've been inquisiting about a couple of the guns. Grump was actually rocking the Venom shotgun, and that thing looks like fun as hell. Oh, here's a weird bug. Let me just break off with it. Look, the reactor door is well, it's got jammed, but nobody else can see it but me apparently, and it's just wide enough for everyone else to slip under, but I can't. I tried to walk through it. It's like, oh great, typical. See, like people can slip under it, but I can't. So I literally had to take my slow ass around now, which is kind of funny. It's a bug I've never seen before, and it's just typical that it happened while I was playing this Juggernaut character. But yeah, no, really good things about the Lancer, and I've been obviously Grunt was rocking the Venom shotgun, which does fire like these cluster grenades. It does really nice damage. I was very impressed with because he was playing on the Asari Valkyrie on a Platinum game, and really doing great damage out there with it. So that's something I definitely want to try on my Krogan Warlord. It really is something I want to try on my Krogan Warlord back then when I get my hands on it. I also asked Grump about other things like the suppressor pistol, because I know nothing about that gun. I've got it at level 1 now. I'm not going to bother using it until I get to level 10, I think, because that's never a good judge of a gun when it's so, when it's level 1. Well, gold guns at least. Ultra rares you kind of can, because I think BioWare know they're hard to get, so they do function well, apart from the Collector SMG. But no, I'm going to wait till I get the gold guns to level 10 before I start playing them. But the suppressor, let me try and focus here. The suppressor does incredible headshot damage, and it fires as fast as you can pull the trigger, from what I hear. So that could be a really great gun for a lot of characters. I'm thinking my Asari Adept build might really benefit from the suppressor. Checked out the. I've been told about the Executioner pistol. It's a one-shot pistol that just does a ton of damage. But a lot of people are kind of skeptical about the Executioner pistol. I want to give it a go myself and see about that. I got pretty good aim, so I might do better than some of my other friends with it. But I don't know. I think they do seem to struggle with the Executioner pistol. It's not winning a lot of points with my friends, but I'll give it a go. If it is really powerful, I don't know who I'd stick that on. To be honest, nothing comes to mind at the moment, top of my head. But I'm sure I'll find some uses for it. If it really is like a really like one-hit kill kind of pistol, that could be pretty badass. I hear not a lot of people like the Geth Spitfire. It actually slows down your movement, the Geth Spitfire, but apparently its clip goes on for days and days. An incredible clip on it, but the damage isn't immense or particularly impressive. A lot of the guns that were just amazing in the single-player adventure are apparently just butchered for the multiplayer, and obviously that's just a balanced thing, but I was kind of hoping that the Geth Spitfire was going to just make the Typhoon irrelevant. What else other guns have I been hearing about? I am just trying to pick up little tidbits, because it's going to be a while, I think, before I can actually show any of these in action. But like I said, I really want to get the Lancer on my Juggernaut build here, and I really want to get the Venom shotgun on my Warlord build. But oh my god, there's like 3 or 4 new ultra rares. That's painful for me. That's so painful for me. I got like my Paladin at level like 5. Where Store hates me. And now there's even more stuff for me to not unlock. Yay. Right, this is the wave 10. This is where you're going to see me really struggle to actually get the heavy melee to work, because I'm going to try and hold all the aggro. Because obviously they're going to start here, and then there's going to be all this aggro coming, so first of all I'm just protecting, and then I'm going to try and keep the enemy here while all the devices sort of go around the map, and I just cannot survive because I cannot get the heavy melee to work while the enemy were not level with me. So that's my warning to everyone. Make sure you're level when you try to do that heavy melee. But other than that, it is a fantastic way for crowd control and survival. You see, that was my first attempt trying to get the Prime. I'm going right up to the Prime trying to get the heavy melee off now. It's going to get me killed again. So then I'm going to just come here. I'm going to try and do it on when I'm on strong, firm ground. See if that helps. But no, I just couldn't get it off here. So I actually take a ton of damage and die a few times here. But I am going to successfully keep all the well, at least pretty much all the aggro on this side of the map while the devices get done, despite all the consumables I go through. But there, see, the Prime's finally on level with me, and I do just kill him with the heavy melee then. This is why I mean, when everyone first got the thing, everyone was just sort of heavy meleeing like crazy with this, which is understandable. It's a lot of fun. It's quite cool, and my fucking rocket just went through the floor there. It is a lot of fun and everything, but I wouldn't recommend a heavy melee build for him, to be honest, because that heavy melee's not always reliable. You know, it can if that heavy melee doesn't work, which it frequently can't, it's just gonna get you killed. It really is. But the thing is, if the heavy melee doesn't work, it is entirely your fault. It's not like the drawbacks are literally your mistake, because you really need to be on target. You need a target in front of you for it to work. You need to be level by the looks of things. So you know that's all. That's pretty much that is it though. There's simple mistakes to make, but that is pretty much it. That's what decides whether this is going to work for you or not. You need to be level, and you need to have a target. So it's a melee you really got to aim with, if that makes any sense. No, but the Juggernaut, he's an alright character. I quite like him. He's not going to be one of my go-to characters just because he is very slow. But he'll be something. If I ever fancy a change, you know, just to mix it up a bit, the Juggernaut is definitely something fun and unique to whip out and play. I got a ton of friends that love him. They're like, the Juggernaut's their favourite characters, and I see so many people playing the Juggernaut when I go online. This is actually quite a refreshing pug game. Obviously I got Kiz, he was trying out the Collector, but the two pugs were just playing classic characters. If I remember correctly, one of them is an Asari. I don't know which one. Valkyrie or Huntress, I'm thinking. And I forget what the other character was. But yeah, you know, it's just been a lot of the pugs now are just sort of rocking the Juggernaut, and the Alliance Infiltration unit seems to be growing in popularity. Which I think is the other guy, actually. I think he's the Alliance Infiltration unit, but I'm sorry, he was actually really helpful, to be honest, because his snap freeze, I was just getting loads of cryo explosions for him with my Siege Pulse. So there was fire and cryo going out a lot in this game. So we were able to do a ton of damage to the Geth. But yeah, I know I struggle to sort of keep focus. I'm trying to like keep up with the game in case there's any kind of important moments I want to sort of like pinpoint for you, and also tell you about the new DLC and sort of tell you how I play my build and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So it all just sort of gets mixed match. But I'm going to try and sum up for you now. It is essentially just sort of drilling with your gun with a nice elemental ammo and just sort of getting your Siege Pulse out to just do lots of explosions. You want to try and, you know, it's going to take some practice for me to get used to. But it's a lot of, you want to break up the clip in two, so you can get 2 Siege Pulses, and then you can sort of reload cancel the last Siege Pulse. For the final, obviously then you can put out the Geth turret to avoid some aggro, or take some aggro off you, help you with more fire explosions, and then you can put the Hex Shield to take some fire from a different group or someone. Or if you've got a big group in front of you and they're sending a lot of fire your way. I'm not going to extract this time. I made the foolish mistake of setting the reactor off, because I literally just forgot that I was a Juggernaut then, and there was no way I was going to make it to LZ with only like 25 seconds on the clock. You need to get moving much sooner, maybe like 40 seconds on the clock. You need to get moving with the Juggernaut. So, you know, I didn't make it home, but you live, you learn. I've only really played a day with the Jug to... But no, here comes the scores, and then I'm going to show you my build, alright? Guns I'm obviously going to recommend are basically your ammo appliers. That's why I did try the particle rifle at first, but that's no good. Not a ramp-up weapon at all. Do not go ramp up. But good ammo appliers. So you're basically your guns that stream bullets. I'm going to recommend Collector SMG, Hurricane, that Lancer. Even though I haven't tried it yet, I'm still going to recommend the Lancer. Maybe the Talon or the Acolyte, but... I think it's very important that you have a stream. It works nicely for you. So there's the 3 points in Hex. Damage, recharge speed, and resistance damage. Geth turret, I went with all damage. Shields and damage, armor damage, and the flamethrower. And for the damaging capacity and stability and ammo for the Geth Juggernaut, and hardened platform is all health and shields. Durability, shield recharge, and power transfer. And obviously the weapons, the Hurricane with the power magnifier and the high velocity barrel. Okay, that's the video though, guys. I'm going to start cracking on with the Collector, so hopefully I'll see you twice today. Take care of yourselves now.